In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. So, welcome to Friends in Faith, Year 4. And as we start this new year, we want to go back to a topic that comes up over and over and over again in church. And the topic, very simply, prayer. Now, you know, things people ask, and this is universal. I don't know what to say. Do I pray? How should I pray? I get distracted when I pray. I feel like nothing is happening when I pray. Why is it so hard to pray? All of those issues come up over and over and over. We want to address that in this first series. But you have to ask yourself, most people, if not everybody, have this little, what would you call it, a tickle in the back of their mind. I know I should pray. The question really is, do I really want to, or am I so stuck in the habits of my daily routine that I can't break out of them? I want to spend X amount of time on social media. I want to read news or watch news for so much. I want to be on the internet looking up stuff. I want to be on TV. All of these things we get used to doing day in, day in, day in, and time to prayer breaks into that routine. And you have to ask yourself, even though I want to pray, do I really want to do that? Now, another issue that comes up with prayer is we do a lot of talking in our prayers. Whether it's memorized prayer, or whether it's I just talk to God and tell Him what I want or what I'm feeling. We do a lot of talking. What we don't do a lot of is a lot of listening. Now, you can compare that to any other relationship you have with somebody significant to you, and go tell your wife, your husband, your children, your boss, your whoever, okay, I'm going to do all the talking and you just listen. I don't have to listen to you, but you have to listen to me. And see how long that lasts, that relationship lasts, and how productive it becomes. Talking to God is important, but being quiet to shut up and listen for a while and see what God has to say to you. Now, truth is though, we can't really hear God's voice if it's drowned out by all the other things in our lives. By our music, by our phone, by our social media, by worrying, by irritation, by anger, by judging, by gossip. And all of those things that get involved in our own brains, we get right into ourselves and we stop hearing God. You have to divorce yourself from some of those things when you pray so you can hear God's voice. And maybe, just maybe, everyone should listen to the distractions you have in prayer too, because those may be the things that you need to take to God when you're praying, exactly what your mind is distracted with. So let me give you good news. We can't all be equal in certain things. Most of us cannot be a Shaquille O'Neal or Kobe Bryant. We can't be Mozart with all of these brilliant musical talents. We can't be linguists and learn multiple languages, and can't be great dancers. But the good news is, everybody, every one of us, can become an expert in prayer. However, there are some ground rules that we have to establish at the beginning. Number one is that prayer is intentional. It doesn't happen accidentally. It's intentional time spent with God. And you have to know that, regardless of what you're doing. Saying to the Lord, I need you to be here with me right now. It can be driving, it can be at work, it can be a lot of things. It can be a quiet time you set aside, but it's intentional. Or intentional if you're asking Mary or any one of the saints that you're close to intercede and add their voice to your prayers. But rule 1, it has to be intentional. Rule 2, it's going to cost you some time. That's the thing we guard more closely than anything, even more closely than our money, is our time. If you're going to pray, it's going to take some time. And that's true in any relationship. If you're going to have a relationship with someone, you have to give time to them. I'm not sure why anyone could not wake up 5 minutes earlier in the morning and just lay in bed and say, Lord, first 5 minutes of my day belong to you, and then see what comes to mind. Wouldn't cost you sleep, wouldn't cost you anything. Just 5 minutes spent to start your day with our God. And number 3 ground rule is nobody's saying nobody's looking for perfection. What we are looking for is progress, that you continue to move forward in your relationship with God and in the effectiveness of your prayer. And you keep making progress in that, realizing that if I'm not perfect, so what? I love my God, and we're talking to each other. Now this year, this first series that we're kicking off with in year 4 is called The 5 Habits of Prayerful People. And if you'd like to read this somewhere down the line, it comes from this book. The 5 habits are passion and pursuit, presence, preparation and planning, persistence and perseverance, pondering. So today, as you meet in your groups, then, would like you to talk about simply is your own experience with prayer. What you found successful, what you found fruitful, what is difficult, where you think you have failed. But just the sharing with each other what has happened to you in prayer and how we can build each other up as we go through this series of these 5 habits that I promise you, if we learn them, you'll find your prayer to be more effective and more fulfilling and more fruitful in your life. So good luck. See you next week.